That is hardcore.
This is hardcore shit.
But for me, it's harder to resist.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte. This is the April edition, Brigitte. Hey, what's going on over there?
Hey, what's up, Mike? God, it's been busy, right?
Oh, well, it's been another month almost. Yeah. Been a few weeks anyway since we've had the last episode, and we got some stuff to talk about tonight. We got a guest. Tell me who we got before I bring him on. Who we got?
Yes, I'm super excited because we've been wanting to bring him on for a while. So we have Eric Stanze. He's with Wicked Pixel Cinema. He's an independent filmmaker. He's based out of St. Louis. He's been like working on things for a while. So I'm super excited to have him. So, Hey, let's bring him on.
Let's just bring him on then. All right, cool. Very cool. All right. Hey, Eric.
Hello.
All right. Eric Stanze, what's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. Hey, man,
Good.
I was just saying, I'm so excited. Well, we're excited to have you on. I've been really wanting to bring you on here for a while. We've had a lot of people reaching out to us, a lot of listeners, so I didn't have a spot open. As soon as I had a spot open, I should send you a message. It seems like I'm the worst about social media, but every time I log on to Facebook and I see you guys, you and Jackie, man, you guys are just working it like all the time.
Yes, we're obsessed. Yes, we're always working on something.
Yeah.
I was editing all day today and into the evening on Hag, which is the movie that Jackie directed, and I was the director of photography on it. I'm the editor on it, and I was editing on that right up until minutes before I joined you guys here.
Oh, well, good, wow. Eric. We really want to talk to you about that because the thing is we've talked to a lot of different filmmakers throughout the years on this podcast, but honestly, most of them are typically like just filmmakers as a whole. They do everything, or an actor or whatever, or just a director or something like that. And I know you do it all as well, and we'll get to all that. But one thing that you do very well and is one of your specialties is editing, right? You're an editor. And yeah, we never really had an editor, Brigitte, have we?
I don't think so. I mean, we've had a lot of people that you can't really call them editors. They edit their own stuff, but
they do it all. Yeah.
Editor.
Sure, right. It's just not their specialty, not their forte. But Eric, look, I'm going to say this and back me up or disagree with me. Editing is one of, if not the hardest job in filmmaking.
I mean, a lot of the jobs are very hard. I think it's the one that is it's probably one of the biggest jobs that's the least appreciated. I think if you do it, people notice the editing if you do it bad. And then if you do it well, then people just kind of are like, yeah, that was a good movie. And they don't really pay attention to that aspect. But no, it's difficult in that it takes a long time and a lot of experience and a lot of practice to kind of like get to where you're good enough or professional enough to be just like really confident about it. I feel like editing was something that I acclimated to very quickly in terms of all the various skills that go into filmmaking. Like that was there at the beginning, and I had to struggle to learn how to write and to learn how to, light and shoot. But editing was always something that came easy. But compared to where I was when I was editing, say, Savage Harvest back in the 90s, to up until today, I can see a lot of progress. And now it's like how I mostly make my living is as an editor. So,
you do. So you do a lot of big time stuff, don't you? You do like a lot of documentary about behind the scenes stuff for a lot of big movies, right?
Yeah, that's one of the big things that I do is I edit behind the scenes documentaries for releases by Paramount. I've done some for, I think, Lionsgate, I think 20th Century Fox. Usually it's been Paramount over the years, but yeah, I've been lucky to get hired to edit these documentaries, and it's been fulfilling, and it keeps the lights on. So
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
that's awesome. I think we were just talking about this, like maybe last podcast or podcast ago, Mike, where I was saying that you can take an actor that is maybe not that great, but if the editing is good, it looks like they're better at acting, or vice versa. I was like, man, their acting's not that great, but that's not what it is. It's the editing was bad on a film.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right, Eric. A lot of people don't appreciate that. They don't.
Yeah, you can take a bunch of stuff that happened that was bad on set. You can take a bad performance or a bad whatever, and you can lift it up in editing. And then, at the same time, a bad editor can take a lot of great stuff that was shot on set and thoroughly demolish it. So it's an important role.
That's what I call movie magic. Movie magic. Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on in post-production.
Yeah.
A lot of the decisions that I make in editing are not creative. A lot of the decisions are, how do I get around this problem? So,
yeah, I'm sure.
Yes.
So let's back it up a little bit. So you had mentioned editing back in the 90s. So tell us how you got into filmmaking. How did you originally get into that?
Tenacity, just stubbornness. I didn't go to film school. I didn't come from, a family with industry connections. I was just, a horror nerd and really wanted to try to do that myself. And so that's how I started. And another aspect of being stubborn is that I always tried to make sure that whatever I was doing to earn a living, anything I was doing to pay the bills, was somehow connected to media, the process. So like my first job was at a very small television station where I was shooting and editing. And then, throughout my life made sure that up until when I went completely freelance, just made sure that I stayed with one foot in media so that I was just always getting additional education, but also you kind of have resources when you can go, hey, I'm going to steal this for a week or whatever from wherever it is that you're working. You can take advantage of it and use that to help get some of your movies made.
Okay. Yeah. So you started in the 90s? Is that when you started? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated high school in 1990, and my senior year of high school I basically spent that working on. That was my senior year of high school was pre-production on a very small amateur movie that we shot as soon as we graduated, which was a movie called The Scare Game. And that was done just for our own, just to have the experience of doing it. And we only intended on family and friends ever seeing it, but it ended up getting a home video distribution deal, and that paved the way for Savage Harvest, and it just kept going after that.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Any inspiration? Like you said, you're a horror nerd. What was some of your favorites, your favorite horror movies growing up?
Yeah, back then, what the movies that made me want to do this, I mean, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead was probably at the top of the list. I know it was, Toxic Avenger had a big impact on me as a young lad, and I thought that was cool. And in my teen years, I was growing up in Pittsburgh, so I was just surrounded by all the George Romero love.
Oh, sure.
And I loved his movies. So just kind of being a fan of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and his other films, and then being in a city that just so thoroughly embraced him, that was very helpful, and that was that provided a lot of fuel too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. And so, Lee, I've noticed that you. I watched one of your films earlier today. I watched Anxiety.
I saw it too.
Yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. And Jackie, oh my gosh, we just love her. She came on the podcast in 2022. We absolutely love Jackie. She's amazing. She's an amazing actor. So great. and you guys
Yeah.
seem to work really well together.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've said it to multiple people where if we're, we often say that the worst day on a film set is better than, the best day not on a film set. We just love doing what we do. But anytime that I am on a film set, anytime that I am working on a movie, if I am able to work on that movie with Jackie, then it makes it so much better, and I enjoy the experience even more. And she's incredibly talented, and she brings a lot to every movie that she's a part of. So there was, Anxiety was a very unique production that was shot during lockdown in 2020. And it was like she didn't kind of just throw it away. We're making a much smaller movie in strange circumstances. I mean, she delivered a powerhouse performance in that movie, I think. So yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that you've got a project that you're working on right now. Hague, is that right?
On Hag, yeah.
Hag, yes. So where are you at with that? Tell us about it.
That is a movie that Jackie wrote and directed and starred in, and I was the director of photography on that, and I'm currently the editor on that. I was one of the producers as well. That was something that we shot a little over a year. It's been a blur now. Trying to think of the timeline. I guess that was a little over a year ago that we shot that, and we have a premiere scheduled for July 9th at Hysteria Fest. So there's I'm not finished editing yet, so there's a little bit of pressure to get it done.
Yeah, for sure.
Be spending a lot of sleepless nights leading up to July 9th to get that thing finished, so that we're not thoroughly embarrassed. But no, she that's entirely her baby, and she came up with the idea. She wrote the screenplay, and it was a very it was shot in 21 days, and it was intense, and had to get a lot done in a short period of time. And in the midst of all of that, she's both playing the lead role and directing, and it's a very intense character. It'd be difficult to do that, I think, no matter what, but it's a very intense character. And that was kind of remarkable to see her be able to bounce back and forth between acting the lead role and directing the other actors in the film. So yeah, it was, and it was just we worked with the greatest people that had the best crew on that movie, and it was just a wonderful experience shooting it. So it's now that she built that machine and that turned it into all of this raw footage, putting it together as an editor is actually a whole lot of fun, and it's been very enjoyable.
That's so awesome. Where's Hysteria Fest? Where's that located?
That's St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay. And that's where you guys are based out of, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first time I've ever edited something with that kind of, I have deadlines when I'm editing the documentaries for those films releases, the behind the scenes documentaries. Obviously I have deadlines for those, but usually what I do is I if I'm editing on one of my movies, or in this case Hag, I'll edit as much as I can, and then when paid work comes up, I abandon the movie and put it on a shelf for several months so I can make some money, and then I get back to it. And so it's always second tier in terms of editing our movies. But in this case, it's we've got to have this thing done by July 9th or we're in troubles. So this is the first time that I've ever had a premiere scheduled before the movie was done editing. So it's different for sure. But yeah, Hysteria Fest reached out to Jackie and basically said, can we premiere the movie at Hysteria Fest in 2026, and we'll push it and promote it and make a big deal out of it. And Jackie asked me, do you think you can have it done by July 9th? And I was like, well, it's when people are offering you stuff like that, you kind of take because people aren't offering you that kind of stuff every day. So when someone does offer you something like that and you're presented with that kind of generosity, you say, yes, I'll get it done by July 9th.
Yeah, that is awesome. And you said 21 days to film it? That's it.
Yeah, it was like we shot one day in Nashville, actually.
Okay.
To shoot one scene of the movie that Jackie then used in the crowdfunding campaign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then once we had the money and once we had the schedule, everything else was all shot over the course of 1 month, 5-day shooting weeks for 20 days. So it was pretty quick.
Yeah, that's fast. 21 days. That's really fast. I feel like I don't know anything about editing, but I feel like editing takes so much longer than the actual filming part itself. Is that right? That's right, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's climbing a huge mountain when you sit down to start editing a feature film. And it does, I mean, it takes months and months and months. Sometimes it'll take me 2 or 3 years to edit something, but that's in addition to how time consuming it is. It's also because I stopped working on the movie the feature film that I'm editing to do something over here that pays money. And then
when you edit these stuff for other people and all that, do you ever get like a big, huge difference? Like obviously when you're editing your own film, you know how it's going to be. Maybe with Jackie's as well, you're there in the process. You see what it's going to be even when you're making it. When all these that come in, do you ever get one that's like very daunting to edit? Like maybe it wasn't marked right. Maybe there's just a million takes. Like anything that's like totally bizarre.
Do you mean like the documentaries?
Yeah, or just any work that you've done editing that's not yours.
I've done, as far as like indie film, I've actually done very little editing in that realm. But when you bring that up about like in terms of the documentaries, it's like, sometimes the process is more difficult than others, and it all just depends on who was running the show when the interviews were shot and when the behind the scenes footage was shot. And sometimes you have the problem of too much footage, and you've got a very brief window of time to get the documentary done, and you're like, there's so much footage to go through. And then other times you have the other problem where they didn't shoot enough.
Not enough.
You're struggling, and I'm calling my producer and saying, can we get some stills? Can we get illustrations, anything to try to cover it, so it's not just, you're not looking at talking heads the entire time. So it varies project to project.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. That's the thought of me trying to edit something makes my head spin. It's like, as an actor, you got like, scene, blah, 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 take 49. Like, oh my God, 49 takes. And then you've got to take all of that and go through all of them and put them and splice them all together. That is so crazy and intense for me to even think about. And you're right. People don't appreciate that. They really don't appreciate it because it's a lot of work. And you can tell too, just watching your films, you can tell that you're really good at editing. You can tell that just by watching your films, for sure.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what about new projects? So you got anything new coming on? So I know you're like trying to get Hag finished up. Do you have anything in the works coming up? Anything in the pipeline?
Well, the most recent thing that we released was Anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And we also recently finished working on the Blu-ray re-release, the first time on Blu-ray, of Deadwood Park, which was a movie that came out originally in 2007. So that just came out, and you can get that through Vinegar Syndrome. Okay. And it's like, if I look at like in terms of how much time and sacrifice and how much just kind of myself I had to pour into a movie, I know that Ice from the Sun was probably the movie of my 20s, and Deadwood Park was probably the movie of my 30s, and In Memory Of was the movie of my 40s. And now I'm 54, and I got to get going on whatever movie is going to be the movie of my 50s. But I am eager to get going on that as soon as, well, I'll finish Hag, and then I'll sleep for 2 weeks, and then I'll get started on whatever it is that will be the movie of my 50s. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I have ideas. I have a lot of concepts. They aren't glued together yet, so we have to wait and see on that one.
Mm-hmm. In memory of, you just mentioned In Memory of, that's Jackie's the lead in that movie. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember watching that. Like, it's been a couple years ago, but I think I actually I think she sent me a copy of it to watch. It was great. It was a really great movie.
Before she was on with you, she sent you a copy of In Memory of?
She did, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was her first film, and that was the first time that we worked together, and yeah, she was impressive back then, and then but to see what, like, she's worked on a lot of movies since then, and a lot of movies as an actor, but she's done a lot of behind the scenes roles as well. And, she's very experienced now, and you can really see it. Like today, she's just kind of like a powerhouse professional compared to In Memory of, and she was impressive on In Memory of as well.
Oh, so. She was totally. That looked like such a super fun film. And then I watched Anxiety earlier today, and I was thinking about, I was like, I think the first movie that I ever saw Jackie in was Tennessee Gothic, and I was just like, wow. I mean, she's come such a long way. God, she's so good too, so great. And if for anyone that's listening out here, so Jackie Kelly is who we're talking about. And if you go back, I don't know the podcast, but it's back. I'm pretty sure it's 2022. We had her on. So her and Eric they've worked a whole lot together the last several years, right? Now,
yeah. I mean, as much as we can. So
yeah, that's amazing. Tell her we said hello. I don't know if she's around tonight, but tell her we said hey. We love her to pieces. She's amazing.
She's way on the other side of the house, but I'll tell her.
Is she okay? Okay, awesome. Mike, do you have anything? I feel like I've been just taking over and just talking his head off. So do you have any questions for Eric?
Yeah, Eric, so like an up-and-coming editor, maybe, what kind of advice would you have for somebody like that? Somebody who's just getting into the game? Like what should they look at, study, maybe just approach? What would you direct them toward?
Wow, if you're specific to editing, I would say start by doing it as much as you can and really sit there and, finish something, walk away from it for a while, go back and look at what you edited, whatever, months ago, and go, well, why does that suck? What did I do wrong? What could have been better? And just kind of like evaluate what worked and why, and what didn't work and why, and just do it as much as you can. And then, I would also just recommend, just get the best editing system that you can and learn it, so that you can, as much as possible, function like on a professional level where people could start hiring you to do this down the road once you've got, a little more experience under your belt. And I would also say, go out there and look at what is available in terms of books and documentaries that touch on the subject. There aren't a lot of them. But if you can find that stuff and just be able to listen to other editors and hear what they have to say. I mean, I try to, like, if I stumble across something like that where there's an editor talking about their craft, I try to find it and listen to it or watch it or read it, because I'll always get something new out of it. And I'll always have, light bulbs go on over my head when I, listen to people that are far more experienced than me talk about the craft. There's always something to gain from, listening to other people who have more experience.
Sure. Is there a certain software that you prefer that you would recommend to edit on?
I edit on Avid, and I've always edited on Avid, and that's not necessarily like a Avid snob thing. It's more just when I first became a freelance editor, that's just what I started on. And then ever since then, every job that I've had or every, anything that I've ever done, it's always either been, hey, come and edit this on our Avid, or I have an Avid and people are willing to let me do it on my Avid. So it's just like happenstance more than anything that I've always been on Avid. But yeah, I mean, I started back in the 90s. I started on linear editing systems where it was all tape to tape. But as far as non-linear editing stuff, I've always worked on Avid.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Well, we don't want to focus on editing. We know you're a filmmaker. You do it all, just like a lot of people do. But that was just a specific point that we wanted to make because, again, we don't get very many people on here that want to talk about that part of filmmaking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of filmmakers should pay more attention to it. You know, I think a lot of filmmakers should realize that there is a lot of shaping that can be done in post-production. And instead of going, oh, that didn't quite work, oh well, you can go, oh no, there's a way around this and the way that this is cut. So yeah, I think that it's something that, I mean, it's the ideal thing to do is be thinking about how it can be edited together while you're shooting it. You know, I think that's that just will kind of grease the rails for the whole thing. And that is something that I feel was in my head early on when I was like all the way back on like Savage Harvest and my student movies. I would be thinking about how does this cut together? How do I shoot this so that it does cut together? You know, the more you think about the sooner you start thinking about post-production, the better it'll all come together.
And editors aren't always on the film set. It just so happens that you're directing, but you're also editing, so you can think about those things as you're filming. Yeah. But not all editors are not necessarily there, right? So they don't have that advantage that you have.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge. I mean, if I'm editing something that I directed, obviously I thought about the editing a long time ago. And then on HAG, it's like I was a producer and I was the director of photography, so I could have the editing in mind when I was discussing how we cover a scene with Jackie or something like that. But then it's like when I'm sitting down to edit one of these behind the scenes documentaries, it's like a whole different animal because I wasn't there for any of that. I didn't. Right. I wasn't there for any of the behind the scenes shooting. I had nothing to do with the interviews. And so when you're watching the stuff the first time and trying to all at once in one big rush, you're trying to figure out how can this come together and be somewhat cohesive, you know, and you have to like figure it out in days as opposed to over the course of weeks of shooting and months of pre-production. So it is different for sure. Yeah,
I would say there's things that we just don't think about. People don't think about that, but yeah, that's awesome. And you, like, we've just talked about just a few of your movies, but you've done a lot of work. So if people listen to the podcast, they want to go and like check out all of your work. So you have a website, right? What's your website where everybody can find some of your movies?
You can find it all at wickedpixel.com.
Wickedpixel.com. Yep. So go check out wickedpixel.com and social media. You're out there because I love seeing your behind the scenes posts, yours and Jackie's both. I absolutely love it. So how can we find you on social media?
I'm bad at social media, but I'm
like me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel your pain. No, I'm on Facebook and on X and Blue Sky, and I can't remember any of I don't remember what my names are on those things, but
I really think your name on Facebook is just Eric Stanze, but it's Stanze. There's no Y, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Stanze. Eric Stanze. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Is there anything else, Mike, that you wanted to ask him? I just want to make sure everybody can find all your movies because, gosh, you guys are doing so much. There's so much that we just didn't have time to talk about. So I want to make sure everybody's able to check out all your stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, appreciate you coming on and everything. And people have watched your stuff, even though they might not even know that it was you. Because, again, all these behind the scenes stuff. You did name a few of them. I know you did Smile, you did Overlord. The Long Walk was a new one that you did. What's some of the other ones you did?
Yeah, The Long Walk was one of the more recent ones, and that was a great project to work on because I loved the movie and just I was like super happy with the way the behind the scenes documentary stuff turned out. That one was a joy. The most recent one I did was for the most recent Scream movie.
Oh yeah,
that was just in theaters. So that Blu-ray hasn't come out yet. So I actually have not seen the final of the documentaries that I cut. But yeah, I did Smile. That was a good one. Overlord. I did the science fiction movie Arrival. That was a good one. Yeah. Suburbicon. I did Anomalisa. I'm forgetting the other ones. They all they kind of sometimes they come fast and furious, and then they all blur together in my memory, and I can't.
I'm sure.
But yeah, no, it's a good gig, and I'm really grateful that I have it, and I really enjoy doing it.
Awesome. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. It's so exciting to talk to you and hear about all your stuff you got going on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys thinking of me. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Eric Stanze, everybody.
All right. Well, good luck, Eric. We'll check out your stuff in the future when it comes out.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
All right. Later.
Bye.
All right. Eric Stanze. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's fun. He's busy. Busy guy. Very busy.
He's busy. But again, it's so nice to hear that part of filmmaking because we always, talk to people who are writing or directing or acting, that sort of stuff. And not that he doesn't do that stuff as well, but the editing part is, for me, like, I would probably have made like 100 movies by now if I didn't have to edit.
You know what the crazy thing is that I tell people all the time, and they talk about podcasts, that we've been doing our podcast, for several years now. And they're like, so, I said, well, we both have jobs. I said, my job is I'll find a person to interview, and Mike's job is editing because I don't know anything about it. And you're saying, oh my God. And that's how difficult it is to edit. Even you just editing, I know you don't have to do as much on the video, but even when we're doing the audio, even just you doing the little bit of small editing that you did on there, it's a lot of work. It is.
Yeah,
and people don't realize it. They really don't.
I did do way more editing with the audio than I do video, but I mean, this isn't hard compared to a movie, because when you're doing a movie and you do have so many takes, and it just depends on, like, as a director, when you're making a movie, you want to have coverage, you want to have enough takes, you want to make sure that you have. But if you do just shoot, if you're the editor, it's going to bite you in the ass because you're going to sit there and have to go through them all eventually. So you kind of have to find that balance when you're editing movies. But I don't know. Editing is not my favorite, and I've told you before. It's not my favorite part. I love writing. I love being on set. Directing, all that stuff. Producing, that's another one of the harder ones. Producing.
Sure.
Is kind of another unsung hero of the film business. But editing, though, when you're editing the movie, I mean, it can really make or break the movie. Like it really, you kind of find the movie in the edit sometimes. If you
really do, and that's why I tried to bring that up when we were talking to him. I was like, there's legitimately movies where I've watched where I'm like, wow, they're not that great of an actor, but it's not that they're not a great actor. It's the editing was just bad, and they can just really make or break it. You're right, totally make or break it. You don't realize that. I remember my very first feature film was Deadlines. And I can remember talking to the director, George Dimmitt, and he was saying, this is when the movie was still in editing. He was like, he goes, I got so sick of looking at the back of your head. He goes, there was one scene I just couldn't get this right. And it was just kind of zoomed in on the back of your, like, my hair is blondish silver back then. He goes, God, I just sit there and look at the back of your head for like hours. I'm like, what? Hours? That's crazy.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you have to do. And honestly, with me, when I make a movie, by the time I finish editing that thing, I hate that movie. Like I was just seeing it so much. I'm just like, I don't want to see this for like a year.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
just keep it away from me. I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, I mean, it is kind of like that. I mean, probably everybody's different, but for me, yeah, it's sort of a daunting process because it's just you have to look at every one of them. You have to sync it up. You have to make
Mhm.
sure that you're getting the fluid sort of motions from scene to scene. And it's just piecing puzzles together, these puzzle pieces together. And it just takes a long time.
I think it
So
just
yeah.
takes a special person for that to click. Like he was saying, it just kind of come natural to him, which I don't
Mhm.
think it comes natural to anyone because you're right. It is like putting a puzzle together and you got to fit the right pieces. And that's why I kind of brought up what he was saying, oh, yeah, as you're filming, you're already thinking about how you're going to edit this
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah,
But not
definitely.
all editors are there doing that.
Well,
So that's a
well,
great
no,
advantage, yes.
well, no, but if you have a good director, if you have a director who it doesn't matter if they're going to edit the movie or not, they still have to be thinking about that. They still have
Yeah.
to be thinking about the edit. So that doesn't matter if you're a poor director. I mean, look, my first film, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I wasn't thinking nothing about that. Okay, and then and then when I went to edit, I'm like,
You figured it out real quick, didn't you?
I was like, oh, this is not how you make a movie because I was like, oh, okay, so and I, it's like not getting enough coverage, not, you just don't really think about it. You're trying to piece together a story as a
Hmm.
director without being an editor. But then when you don't think about the edit, then you sometimes you don't fill those gaps. So yeah. So moving forward after that, yeah, I had to think about the edit as well. And so that's just something you have to do whenever you're making a movie. Yeah. Or you'll
Yeah.
be like, this don't really go together, but slapping it together anyway.
Yeah, that's so funny. I'm glad we're talking about this because we talk about, independent filmmaking all the time, but this is just a subject that doesn't get brought up a lot. And it's such a
No,
huge, important piece of filmmaking,
it is because
so
not only are we talking about putting the scenes together, but we're talking about the Foley, the sound effects. We're talking about putting the score
oh
there.
yeah.
I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
stuff that goes into at
Mhm.
that point that
Mhm.
really. I mean,
Yeah.
I that's why I feel like it is sort of one of the hardest things to do in a movie. Obviously, there's sometimes on big movies, there's different people doing different tasks of those, obviously. But
Mhm.
if you're doing it all, maybe you're doing the score, maybe you're just putting the score in, but you still have to put it all together, make sure it's all fitting, make sure it's working right. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
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 All right. All right. So let's talk about some stuff. You got anything to talk about in the beginning
Man,
here?
the only thing that I've had going on, oh my God, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I co-own Cirque de Freaks. We work horror
Mhm.
conventions. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I have been swamped. Like I was looking at our schedule. Oh my God, we have cons all summer long. We just
Yeah.
finished up 2 weeks ago. We finished up the Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival in Nashville. That
The
was
big boy.
a big boy. It was pretty amazing. It's my favorite con to work, and it's local to
Yeah.
me, which I'm in Nashville,
Yeah.
and it's the
Yeah.
same owners of Slaughterhouse. If you remember back in October,
Mhm.
we had Stacy Dixon on the podcast,
Yep.
but her and Ben Dixon, they own this con, so it's always a favorite of mine. And so this
Well, we
year's a
talked
little
about
different. Yeah.
we talked about it before. Remember that's kind of the thing that sort of it's one of the things that brought us all together in a way because like that con that was the first con I ever went to way back in the day, and seeing those people, seeing like B movie actors and people and just independent filmmakers and stuff, that sort of made me think, hey, I could probably do this, but I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
I ever had a
inspiring.
thought
Hmm.
had a thought in my head about it before that. So yeah.
Hmm.
They've
Yeah.
definitely been a big staple of the South of Tennessee for horror anyway for a long time.
For sure. And they I can't remember what year. I feel like they're 20, I think maybe 26th or something. It's crazy. They've been doing this
Yeah.
con a long time. And it's kind of the start. Now there's a lot more cons in Nashville, horror cons anyways, but they were kind of
Sure.
like the original. And this year was a little bit different. I didn't know what was happening Saturday. I was like, this is really slow for a Saturday. What I didn't realize is that we had like tornado warnings and the weather was
Oh,
just bad. And
okay.
we had a really, good spot. So we were directly across from David Arquette. Um,
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a
like
good spot.
he's like 5 feet from us, and I will say I didn't realize this. So he's, Tracy asked him, "Hey, how do you like Nashville?" And he's like, "I love it here." He's like, "I've been here for 6 years." So he actually
Oh, he lives there.
lives. He lives here. Yeah, he lives in Fairview. And then right next to him was Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff lives in Bellevue, which is Greater
Does
Nashville.
he?
So all these people are like moving here. It's crazy.
There was another one last year that lives in Bellevue too. I
Yes.
was talking. I can't remember his name, but
I
yeah.
know
So
who you're
there's a lot of
talking about. I know you're talking about. It's crazy, but yeah, David Arquette. Like you would never think, what a really cool, down to earth guy. Like, he came over to our booth several times, and I mean, because we're just right there when it was slow. He came over, and we got a photo with him, and he was really interacting with the vendors and just people walking by. I mean, he didn't try to act like he was better than anyone else. I mean, he was just a really cool guy. I was really,
awesome.
really surprised. So, and I love it when these celebrities get out of their little table and go around and mingle with all the vendors when it's slow and just kind of mingle with all the people. I think it really says something about them, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that was really fun. Yeah, we talked. I mean, we talked to a lot of people, but it was really cool being across from him. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was Nashville Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival. Our next one we have coming up is the Louisville Horror Con. That's going to be in the month of May. So we got Louisville in June, and I'm excited about this one. It's going to be my birthday weekend. So the weekend of June 6th, 6/6.
Hmm.
It's easy to remember. 6/6 is Spawn of Scarefest. So this is a new con, brand new. Well,
Yeah,
Scarefest is the big, 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 big con.
huge, huge,
Huge,
biggest
one
one
of
in
the
Kentucky.
biggest one on this side of the U.S. So they've got the Spawn of Scarefest, which is, but it's funny when you're looking at it. It's not a little con. It's not little. It's just not as big as Scarefest. So,
Right.
we're actually going to stay at the hotel because they're different from your normal cons. They have a lot going on all weekend long. So even after
Oh,
hours, they have a horror prom. Never been to a
nice.
horror prom before, so that'd be kind of interesting. And they're doing that first night at the hotel. They're doing like a watch party in the pool of Jaws, and they're gonna be some interaction or something. I don't know. So it's gonna be. I think I'm excited about it. And this is in Lexington,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
Lexington, Kentucky. You're right. Yeah,
Now
yeah.
this is leisure. I'm not working. I
Right.
was having a really shit day, and I mean a shit day, and Tracy couldn't. He can't keep secrets. He spilled the beans. He said, "You're having a bad day. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you for your birthday, which is 6/6." He said, I'm taking you back to Texas Frightmare." I was like, "Oh, Texas
Nice.
Frightmare." So much fun. I had so much fun last year. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about that. So got that. Oh my God. Go on circuitofreaks.com on the events page. I'm really good about keeping it updated. All the events that we work because they are all summer long. I just rattled off like maybe three. There's so many more. There's yeah, RaptorCon and Smoky Mountain Terror and Spawn of Scarefest. I mean, there are so many. I can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
So circuitofreaks.com, go check it out. Yeah, because we're doing really great. And man, I can't keep stuff on the shelves like we have probably the coolest freaking booth you can come to because we sell a little bit of everything. You got your horror movie merchandise, you got your gothic stuff, you got your handcrafts. I mean, there's so much fun stuff, and we always have a great time. So, but
Yes.
that's what I've had going on lately. I mean, I've just been working a lot on these horror conventions. What about
Yeah.
you? And what anything going on?
Oh, no, no, not much. We had a really rushed episode last month. We didn't get to really talk about a few things. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about the Oscars. We didn't talk about the Oscars last month. Well, the Oscars came out, and we did have some horror representatives there in the Oscars. I don't know if I didn't watch it, but obviously we had Weapons, the creepy ants. She won Best Actress.
I
Uh,
can see why. I didn't
yeah.
even know this.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Sinners,
know this.
Sinners, Sinners won a few. They won a best screenplay, and Michael B. Jordan won best actor, and there were a few other ones that won with Sinners. Of course, they had the most nominations ever.
Oh yeah, right. I think I did
with
know
Sinners,
that.
and Frankenstein also picked up a few awards too.
Wow,
So,
wow.
so it was a pretty big one for horror. Yeah, getting a little bit of recognition, a little more than most years anyway.
I know. Demi Moore set the bar for us, didn't she?
Well, it was crazy that year. I mean, unfortunately,
Mhm.
the Substance didn't win, and she didn't either. But they did get nominated, which
Mhm.
was wild. And
Right.
because some people, what they'll do is, if a movie gets nominated, they don't care. They'll go watch it. They're going, I'm going to watch every one of them. And for some people to watch that movie, be like, what?
Oh, I
'Cause that
know.
was
I
it was
know.
definitely wild.
Mm.
A few other things happened. So Joe Bob got canceled. Joe Bob
Mm.
Briggs, The Last
Mm.
Drive-In. That's big news over at Shudder.
When did this
Deal.
happen? I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks now. I'm not sure exactly what the decision was there. He said it wasn't him, but I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it seems a little weird. Again, I don't know if money was involved or what, but you know, Joe Bob was really the kind of thing that made Shudder popular there in the beginning.
Oh, I know. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Shutter. When Shutter, I feel like I first heard about Shutter like around like maybe 2017 ish, 2018, something like that. And that was
Yeah,
before Joe Bob. Nobody
right.
had
And
really
what?
heard of it. I mean, you'd watch it and it was just a shit quality. And I
Yeah,
feel
it
like
wasn't
when Joe
much.
Bob hit, that's kind of like when it really become a thing and more people were heard about it. And
Hmm.
um that's crazy. I talked a lot about the Joe Bob show with Honey Gregory. We've kind of become
Hmm.
friends with Honey Gregory. She was the original mail girl.
Yeah.
And we've kind of become, just working the horror conventions. We've kind of become friends with her, and she's told a lot of behind the scenes stories. And we're talking about bringing her on the podcast too. We're just trying to figure out a date, and I think she's
Yeah.
got a lot of things she could tell, kind of about the Joe
Yeah.
Bob. I don't know if she knows about it canceling or not. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if
Yeah.
she does, but
Yeah. That would
um,
be interesting. So they're doing like a few more specials. I think maybe three or four more specials. But as far as the show itself, it's gone. I mean, I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe it might be. I mean, he's getting older.
well,
I can remember.
I was gonna ask you, have you watched Joe Bob?
I mean, on the show, he's quick. He's pretty good on the show, but
He's
in
boring. I think he's boring. I'm just
in
putting it out
real
there.
in real
Oh,
life, in real life, I was a little bit surprised. I will say that when I met him,
really?
yeah, it was a little different. It wasn't like that at all. But anyway, I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. But so anyway, Joe Bob's going away, and the Crypt Keeper's coming in. They're putting all the old Tales from the Crypt movies on Shudder. That's coming in pretty soon.
Oh, that's exciting to me. You're talking about like the HBO, like Tales from the
Yeah.
Crypt.
Hmm.
I'm actually excited about that. I used to watch that like religiously when I was pretty young. And I don't know when it started, like the 80s, maybe. I don't know
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
started, but I mean, I was definitely pretty young. But that's nostalgia to me. I own the first, I think the first three seasons on DVD, but I haven't watched them in a while. But no, I, I'm actually excited about that. I really
Yeah.
am.
Yeah,
But
I mean that should be good. That should be good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's going to probably maybe take the place of that for a little while. Um, the only other thing I got to really talk about before we go to the movies is um, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Remember that movie?
Oh,
You
of
liked it?
course. Oh, of
It was
course.
great. It's a great movie. They talked about doing a sequel for a long time. Just for some reason or another, couldn't get it going. It's been a few years. That's been what? How long ago has that been? That's been like
Oh God. What
20
what
years.
year what year did that movie come out?
It's
It's
like
been
20
a
years, right?
while.
It's about 20 years,
I
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's crazy to think about that. It's crazy.
So I think at some point they even did a Kickstarter for it, and still I don't know if they made the goal or whatever, but it did anyway. Nothing came of the whole deal. But then here a few days ago there was rumblings that started. on the page, and then all of a sudden, now they're saying yes, definitely, there is going to be a part two. So
Okay.
they are making a part two. They're going to launch a new Kickstarter for it pretty soon. But as far as I know, they're going to do it anyway. It's going to happen. So it should be pretty interesting. I don't. It's a little late for a sequel, but I mean, better late than never, maybe. But
I just
probably
looked
would
it
have
up.
been
You hit the nail on the head. It's exactly 20 years. Come out in 2006.
okay. Yeah, all
That's
right.
pretty good.
10 years.
That
So,
is kind of crazy for me to think. 20 years.
yeah.
But they didn't do the Scream thing after part two. I mean, they go like so many years with the movie Scream before they released another one. What was the big gap? Like a crazy big gap between them.
Well, okay. So it's like one hit bank, boom. Two
Right.
hit bank, boom.
Right.
Three honestly made a lot of money, but it made a little less. So they're like, whoa, we need to slow down for a little bit, I think. Plus it wasn't as good, and it got critical.
Right.
I don't think it got critically acclaimed as much.
Mhm.
It didn't. And I don't prefer it either. So, I think there was a lot of buzz like, whoa, okay, we'll just slow down for a while. So they slowed down, and it took them a few years to do four, took them a
What
little
year?
bit.
What year when they're like a long, like so many years between them? I watched them all in
Yeah.
the same weekend back to back, so
What
they all
was
run together on me.
what was four? Was that 2011? What was that?
I'm gonna look it up. It's gonna drive me crazy. I gotta look it up.
I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, there were some years there between that one and four, and I think that's just because I think horror kind of changed a little bit. They moved on to that, I guess what they like to call torture porn and all that stuff, and so
Yeah.
we had a lot of other big boys coming in. Saw dominated for so long, and
That's
they kind
right.
of
It's 2000. It was 2011, by the way. You're right.
okay, 2011 so four came out, and then that one actually didn't do that well. It actually didn't do that well at the box office. I mean, it made money, but it didn't do well at all. So after that, they're like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess we're done with this." It wasn't, and then obviously Wes Craven died and everything, so it was kind of
Right.
just pretty much gone. Not even a thought in the head until much later. And obviously, Radio Silence picked it up for part five, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing that happened with that. So that's more of a money thing. I don't think, and money might have been obviously a big part of this Leslie behind the mask as well. But I mean, I think that the filmmakers and the actor wanted to make it. It just maybe just didn't get there to what they needed. But now it seems like they've got it, and they're hopefully going forward with it.
Behind the Mask is going to be hard. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, that's going to be hard to do a part two. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. The
the
reveal,
first one was the
reveal is wild on the first one,
Yeah,
so it's going to be
yeah.
hard to replicate. But it
Mhm.
is in its own way kind of like Scream, where it is making it has a meta version of horror and the love of horror. So I do love that and appreciate it. So if they can just take it to a different level, I mean, who knows? And maybe it work, maybe it won't.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That's all I got. You ready to get to what you've been watching?
Yeah, I haven't been watching a lot because I've been working a lot, so my list is
I haven't-
really, really short. So,
Mine is two, actually.
well, I'll start with. I think we both watched. We just talked about it earlier with when we had Eric on, but I think we both watched Anxiety, which is a great movie. I think you can watch it on Tubi right now. So
It's on Tubi, and I think it's on Amazon as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so really great. And we talked about Jackie Kelly earlier, so she's the lead in it, and
Yeah.
really great movie. Great
So,
movie.
It starts out about the pandemic, which
Right.
is pretty triggering enough if we considering the fact that it's kind of bizarre to think about the pandemic now, and we're so removed from it now. But obviously, when you see those scenes again, you're like, oh shit, I remember that. I remember living through all that, and all the chaos and uncertainty and everything, so it really starts out with that. That's like the big part of this movie, like for the first third of it, right?
Yep.
And it works and it's good. But I'm thinking, like, is this the way it's going to be? Is it going to be kind of be like Host, kind of a deal where it's like this girl is kind of isolated talking to her friend and all that stuff. But then it shifts.
Oh yeah, it
It
shifts. Yeah.
shifts, and it goes into totally different directions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even an allegory. It's about addiction. It really is about addiction. And the thing about that is he really hit it on the head. And we didn't talk to him actually about if this was any personal subject matter or not. But when I was thinking about it, back when the COVID hit and everything, I don't know if you remember this or not, but restaurants were actually allowing you to take, like when you pick up delivery, like food, pick up alcohol. Like you could pick up alcohol with the food. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I believe it though.
It was a thing. Like if you wanted to go pick up a restaurant order, like, and you wanted to get like a cocktail with it, you could get that and just take it home with you. Yeah. So that was in Nashville anyway. Now maybe not everywhere, but I lived in Nashville at the time. I was in Bellevue. So that was a thing.
It's crazy. Wow. I don't even remember that. I do remember, this is so freaking bad, but I do remember funny George Dimick. It hadn't been long. We had filmed Deadlines and we were at Chattanooga in February of 2020 and we were promoting the movie, and that was when everybody's kind of talking about this COVID thing, and he's talking about, grocery, everything's going to close. And I'm like, that's bullshit. That's just not going to happen. And I remember talking to him like right before they really started closing everything. And I was like, he goes, have you been to the grocery store? And I was thinking, my God, I got to go to the liquor store. What if I run out of my booze? So at first thing I thought, oh my God, it's so crazy. So yeah, I'm going to run out of my booze. Who gives a shit about groceries? I need my wine, my bourbon.
I think there is some truth there. I think people were pent up and just kind of not doing a lot in their mental state, and it did sort of probably a lot of people did relapse on there at that time.
Oh yeah,
it was just one of those things where you're like, I got nothing else to do.
And I'm sitting at home. I don't got to get out and drive or
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I did my fair share of drinking during the pandemic. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So that's kind of what the movie's about. That's really the basis of the movie. But then he takes it to these horrific levels, and we get to the third act and everything, and it just sort of goes really wild. And we get like this sort of doppelganger effect of the character and everything. And so, but yeah, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job. It was a good
Me too. Same. So yeah. So there's that. I checked off some of the movies that have been on my list forever. My running list, Mike, on my phone for movies is crazy long. The list is so long I don't know where these recommendations come from. Sometimes they come from you on the podcast. Okay, so I've been checking off some of the movies that I have on my list. I always have a running list on my phone. I don't know where this recommendation come from or where these come from. It could have come from you, actually. I'm not sure. So the first one is Candyland.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you heard of? You've seen it? It makes me wonder. Did you recommend this one? Also known as Lot Lizards.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I love it that it's set in the 90s. It's different. It's So sometimes I like to throw in these like dirty, gritty movies. This is definitely one of them. It's not for everyone.
Right.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. But yeah, so it's basically about lot lizards, and you throw some religious stuff in there, some cult like stuff. I don't know. I think it's worth watching. And it's just come out. I think it come out in 2023. I wonder if you recommended that movie for me.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely talked about it, I'm sure.
Here's another one. And I'm going to actually read what I wrote on Slasher. So for those of you that don't know, Mike and I are both on this app called Slasher. I think both of us utilize it for the exact same thing. So every time we watch a movie, we'll go and post. That's how we keep up with what we've been watching. So Slasher, if you want to look us up, I'm Circus Gal on there. I think you're Faux Pas Films, right?
Faux Pas or Faux Pas Films, one or the other. Yeah.
Okay. So this movie that I watched is called The Stylist. The Stylist
Yeah.
from 2020.
I've
Do you
seen
know this one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So what I didn't know is that this started off as a short film.
Mhm.
And I only found that out was when I looked it up. I was like, oh, there's two versions of it. There's 2016, there's 2020. So I watched the full feature. So here's what I wrote about it. I was like, I'm going to start writing notes when I go and post these on Slasher so I can remember when we do a podcast. All right, so here's what I wrote. While I found the overall story enjoyable, the runtime felt way too long. And there were moments where the pacing just kind of dragged for me. At times, certain scenes seemed unnecessary, which made the film feel less engaging than it could have been. So when I went to post this, I learned that the story was first released as a 16-minute short film in 2016. And I couldn't help but to feel the original short film may have served it better. That was my personal opinion. It's a great movie. It's great. It's just a little long for me. I feel like there was a lot of parts in there that were really unnecessary.
Yeah,
But
maybe
that's
some slow
probably
parts, but it does have a good ending. That ending's pretty sweet.
Oh my God. I knew that shit was going to happen too. I knew it. I was like, I looked at Tracy. I was like, wouldn't that be fucked up if blah, 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 blah. And he's like, surely not. And sure enough, it happened. I was like, damn, that is just wrong. That is so wrong. And pretty good payoff.
It's the female version of Maniac, wouldn't you say?
Oh, you know what? I know where I found this movie. I watched a documentary, I think on Shudder, called I think it's called 1,000 Women of Horror or 100 Women of Horror or something like that.
I watched that.
Did you? Okay. And I was like, oh, The Stylist. And that kind of reminded me of, Maniac. So yeah, I kind of want to watch the short film now. Anyway, so The Stylist.
I met that director. She was at a convention once. Yeah.
Oh, really? It's a female director, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she is.
The Stylist. It's a little long. If you like me, you got ADD. It's just a little bit long, but dude, the last 5 minutes are just like, wow. It's crazy. You didn't watch it. It's good. So here's another one that I've had on my list for a while, and I was a little disappointed in it. It's called The Girl Who Got Away. You seen that one?
Yeah, I have seen that one. It's really slow, right? It's kind of like a police procedural kind of deal. Am I right? Am I thinking
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think my expectations were too high for this one. It's not that it would come out.
I think the poster doesn't match the movie. Am I wrong?
It doesn't match. Yeah, you're right. It's got the little creepy girl that's, but it, yeah. So here's what I wrote about this one. I really wanted to love this film because the story had strong potential. However, the execution fell short for me. While the core narrative was there, the storytelling through the camera lens did not feel as effective as it could have been, which ultimately made the film just for me. And
I think it's an okay movie. It's just, if you're looking for a horror movie again with that sort of poster, you're probably gonna not get what you're looking for.
I think that's what did it for me. I set myself up for failure. I had too high expectations going in. Well, that's it for me. I've been super swamped. I haven't really watched a lot, so my list was very, very short. So hopefully you have some better ones than I do.
Mine's pretty short too. Mine's really not that big. First thing I watched was Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. This is a new show on Netflix.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I liked it. It has a little bit. It's a little bit Ready or Not-ish in a way. I don't want to say too much because it might give stuff away. But yeah, I liked it. There's a lot of twists and turns. We
started watching a show on Netflix last night, and this is at 1:00 in the morning. So what is this show about? I wonder if it's the same one.
It's about this girl that's getting married. She's getting married to this guy, and they go with her family, but then weird, odd things start happening there.
Oh, yeah. No, then that's not the show we watch. Wow, it sounds just like Ready or Not when you say that.
Yeah, there are some similarities, but it's not like Ready or Not. It ends up being different, but But I liked it though. I thought it was a pretty good show overall. Yeah, worth a watch on Netflix. Up next, Forbidden Fruits.
Forbidden Fruits.
Forbidden Fruits. This is the new, what are they calling this? The craft for the Gen Zers, maybe?
So what did you call it?
The craft for the Gen Zers, maybe?
Oh, that is so funny. When you say Forbidden Fruits, I thought you were talking about a porno.
No, it
sounds like a porno, doesn't it?
It's about these three witches at a mall, but they're all named like fruit names. Like one's named Peach and the other one's named, you know what I mean? So, but then they meet up with this other girl. Yeah. And they have magical, witchcraft powers to a degree. I was not a fan of this one. I did not care for it that much, to be honest. The Craft, I like The Craft. I mean, I really like Craft. I don't love The Craft. I know a lot of people do. I think it's a really good movie from the
Are you
90s.
talking about from the 90s?
Yeah, The Craft. Remember The Craft?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but damn, I mean, I do like it though. It's more nostalgia for me, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I really like it. But compare that one to this one, I'm just like, I'm sorry, you guys this is what you have for The Craft, because we had The Craft. I'm sorry, this is your pale imitation of The Craft that you get, because this is not for me.
I think you lost me like on it's Forbidden Fruits. It sounds like a porno name, and you're like, oh, it's the witches, and they all have they're all named after fruit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the concept.
Peach. What else? Who else is you got? Peach. Who else you got?
I don't know. I can't even remember. Cherry, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Apricot. I don't know. No, that's not right. But they all work in a mall, and they're doing these powers and stuff, and it just isn't. I don't know. I didn't care for it. It wasn't for me. It's not for me probably, but it wasn't for me. Up next, The Mortuary's Assistant. I thought this was going to be. I thought this one was going to be like, I don't know, kind of either like The Mortuary Tales or maybe like The Autopsy of Jane Doe or something like that. It didn't end up being anything like that. It's an okay movie. It's on Shudder.
Is this newer?
Yeah, it's newer. It's on Shudder. It kind of ends up being a little bit more about spirits and stuff. I mean, it's just it went away. I wasn't probably thinking just about the title maybe, but it's an okay movie. It's just not like, oh my god, great. Up next, Touch Me.
Touch Me sounds like another porno.
Well, it's not a porno, but
it's rated NC-17.
It's probably close. I think you need to watch this movie though. It's pretty fucking wild. So if you remember one of the guys from the Evil Dead remake, the one with the glasses, the one who got the
oh yeah,
remember that guy?
Yes. So, oh god, yes.
I can't remember his name, but okay. So in this movie, he plays an alien, right?
Oh, and he's in it. The guy from the Evil Dead. Okay. Yeah, the guy with the glasses. So
he plays an alien, and he is kind of like being like this sort of guru, goddess, god kind of a guy. He's going around, and there's this girl who's like infatuated with him, but what he does is he turns into this alien and has sex with her, and it's like there's all this, There's like all this greatness that she gets from it. So she brings her and her friend come out to his retreat, and just things kind of go awry with everything, and she kind of finds out some secrets that she didn't know was happening with the alien, but it ends up being body horror.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little slow to start. You're like, what is this trippy fucking shit? So it's a little bit slow at the start. You kind of got to get through that. But once you get into that like third act, you're like, what the heck? Yeah, but it's pretty good though. I mean, it's wild. I'll just say that.
Okay.
It is a wild movie. So
So
I would say,
where'd you find this at? Like, where'd you stream it? Do you remember?
I don't think it's streaming. I think it's on VOD right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it may end up being on Shudder. I don't know exactly where it's going to end up, but yeah.
Touch Me.
All right,
That's what it's called. Touch Me.
Touch Me.
Right.
Yeah, watch the
Everybody,
trailer.
watch Touch Me. Everybody.
After the podcast, watch the trailer and see what you think.
Okay.
Because it's pretty trippy. Up next, The Bride.
The horror movie?
Yeah, The Bride. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maggie Gyllenhaal directed her version of The Bride of Frankenstein.
Like the Frankenstein? That's what I was going to say. Is it like another Bride of Frankenstein spinoff?
It is a modernized version of The Bride. It's basically, I would say it like this. It's a concept of what if the bride didn't get burned up after 5 seconds after she was brought to life.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, kind of a deal. It didn't do very good at the box office at all, but I think it's a pretty decent movie. I mean, it's not like amazing necessarily. No, it's a little like, I don't know. They like kind of go on the run together. So Christian Bale plays Frankenstein.
Oh, is this so this is like a new movie?
Yeah, it's relatively new. I mean, it came out in theaters a few months ago, or maybe a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jessie Buckley, I think she just won an Oscar for Hamnet. She plays the bride. She does a really good job. Maggie, like I said, Maggie Gyllenhaal is the one director. You know who Maggie Gyllenhaal is, right? She's an actress.
Oh yeah, of course.
Her brother was in it for
that's awesome.
A little bit. Yeah. But they're kind of like Bonnie and Clyde in a way. They're kind of like going around and kind of exploring the world, and of course, people attack them and stuff, and they're kind of doing their thing, and there's police officers after them and everything. But I mean, I thought
it's probably sad. It makes you feel sorry for them, and
I mean, not too much. It's not really a pity party kind of a deal, but I mean, it's just more like an adventure that they go on together. So it's kind of like, I mean, again, it's kind of like, what if she did come to life and they did end up being perfect for each other? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So it's a total reimagination, and there are a few little throwback stuff too, because there's like a few little black and white scenes where, like, instead of being the bride, she's actually Mary Shelley, who's the writer of Frankenstein, And there's even a scene with the fucking jars, the heads in the jars. Remember I talked to you about The Bride of Frankenstein and how I'm like, everybody loves that movie and says it's so good, but what about the fucking heads, the people in the jars? Well, there's like some heads in jars and stuff in this one, so it's a little throwback for that kind of stuff. But there's also, believe it or not, and I kind of thought this was cool, because there's little Easter eggs. There's a part where they're performing Put It on the Ritz, which is a nod to Young Frankenstein.
I was gonna say Young Frankenstein, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
That's good. That's good writing. That's fun.
Yeah. So I mean, there's enough good stuff in it to make it worthy of a watch, I think. I mean, again, I just think a lot of these horror movies are bombing at the box office because maybe Scream just pulled it all in. They're like, after Scream, I mean, because I think for the average Joe, horror movies aren't going to be every day kind of a deal. So if they do one, they're like, okay, we've done horror for a while. We're good. You know what I mean?
And it's really disappointing. I know we've talked about this year, but man, Mike, I'm just like, I'm not really excited about any horror movies this year. But when you're like, oh, Brigitte, you got to watch this one, I'm like, oh my God, finally, someone gives me something that's really good to watch. Like, I'm just not getting great recommendations. Like my movies, I watch so many movies that I'm like, oh, check this off my list. Okay. It's disappointing. And you're right. I'm like, God, you had Scream, which is so good. Can you produce something else that's good too? It's just disappointing.
Well, the Mummy just came out, and everybody's talking about that one.
Everybody's talking about that one. Yeah, I know. It's strange.
They're saying it's really good, so I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it just came out not too long ago. All right. Up next was Super Happy Fun Clown.
Super happy, fun clown. That sounds like
Yeah.
me.
Now, now this is a little film on Tubi. You can watch this one on Tubi. It's really low budget kind of a deal. Starts off really slow, like super duper slow. So you kind of have to muddle through all that. At the end, it picks up. It gets pretty decent. I mean, it's not great or anything, but if you like clown movies, which I know you do,
Mhm.
uh, probably worth a watch. Just
Okay.
to kind of see where it ends up. But again, you're going to struggle probably for a little bit there at the end first because it is a little
Okay.
slow. Takes a little
Okay.
bit to pick it up, but yeah, it's on Tubi. It's free. Um, Up next, did a rewatch of Urban Legend. Always a good movie.
Oh,
Uh,
I love Urban Legend. Yeah.
you know, last month, we didn't talk about of course, Chuck Norris died. Chuck Norris,
Yeah. Yeah.
big action star, but he was in a movie. What was it called? Deadly Silence or something like that. That was a horror movie, horror adjacent, or was it the Rage? Deadly Rage? I can't remember the name of it, but it was
It's
a
not.
horror
It's
movie.
not. It's not Dead Silence. I know he's not Dead Silence.
No, it's not Dead Silence. It's
Deadly Rage, maybe.
Deadly Rage, maybe. That was it. But anyway, so on the same day that he died,
Mhm.
we lost Jamie Blanks. Jamie Blanks, and he was the
Yeah.
director of Urban Legend and also Valentine. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I forgot that he done Valentine. I just watched that. I did a rewatch of that not too long ago.
yeah, I mean it's not a bad movie. I mean it's
It's
not
kind of
great.
underrated. I feel like. I feel like it's. I feel
I
like
mean
it's kind of underrated. And so
it's a
is
good one to
Urban Legend.
watch.
Urban
Oh,
Legend's
Urban
great
Legend.
too.
I love. We've talked about this before, but I love
Oh yeah.
Urban Legends. I think
Oh yeah.
it's the absolute best Scream ripoff that there ever was, ever.
Ever.
I
Mhm.
think it works really well. But
Mhm.
yeah, we lost him. We lost Nicholas Brendan the same day, which he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I didn't watch
Which
that,
one?
but
Which one was it? Was he?
he
Oh, he
played.
was on the show, not the movie. The show.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Okay.
on the show. But yeah, so Jamie Blank's Urban Legend there. That was he did a few horror movies, but those were the two big standouts was Urban Legend and Valentine. And so the other thing that I would talk about is I thought you were going to watch this. Did you go watch this? They Will Kill You.
No, but I have it. I have it on my list. That's one I have
Oh,
on my list. I do.
okay, I did
Was I
watch it.
supposed? Was I supposed to watch it?
I thought you said you had tickets to it or something.
Oh, I did. Oh, Tracy Diddy bought me tickets to it, and something happened where I must have double booked something. We had to cancel it, so we didn't get to
Okay,
do it. I don't
okay,
remember, but we were supposed to see it in the theater. We were supposed to see it, but
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
didn't work out. I don't know what
I
happened.
got you. I got you. Well, if you like Ready or Not and that kind of stuff, it is very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, it is way more action, like action fighting scenes kind of deal. So if you like
Hmm.
that sort of stuff, then yeah, it might be on your might be a good thing to put on your list to watch. I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Again, it is too familiar, too similar, I think, to Ready or Not for me to be like,
Hmm.
well, this was super original in its
Hmm.
own way. Even though the cult they do have this thing that doesn't happen with Ready or Not, which is they come back to life off of that.
Oh, oh, all
Yeah,
right. That's a little
yeah, yeah.
different take on it. Okay.
That's it's a little different.
I started watching part two of Ready or Not the other night. And I got like where she's talking to her sister, she reunites with her sister. And I was about 20
Mhm.
minutes in, but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't hold my eyes open. I was like, I really want to watch this. But you liked it though, right?
I liked it. I mean,
It's just okay.
yeah.
That's
No,
how
I
I
mean, I
felt
think it's
about the first one. I felt about the first one. I was like, it was okay. I mean, it
okay.
wasn't
Well,
bad.
it sounds like I liked the first one more than you did. So
Okay. Okay.
because
Maybe so.
I
Maybe
really
so.
I did enjoy the first one. I thought it was pretty good, honestly. And so this one, I think it does pretty well as far as carrying out a sequel. And
Mhm.
so if you didn't love or really like the first one, I don't know if you're going to really like this one because it is more of the same stuff. It really, I mean, it does enough to expand the world without jumping shark or anything. So again, if you don't like the world, then you know I can't. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but if you,
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay.
but yeah, I thought it was pretty good though. I did think it's pretty good. It didn't do that well at the box office. Neither did They Will Kill You though. Again, nothing horror is really sticking at the box office except for Scream 7.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. There's another movie that I started watching. Oh my God, I think this was last night. I've been like getting I don't sleep that great, and I'll just sit up and watch movies and I'll just start kind of falling asleep. But it's a movie you recommended, and I got really interested in it, but I was like, I'm so freaking tired. I was like crazy late. Psycho Killer. I started watching it.
Yeah.
Like the first 20 minutes is like, oh my God. Like I really want to go and finish it.
I like that movie.
Good,
I've seen
isn't
it
it?
a couple times already. Yeah, I
Oh,
like
you've
it.
seen
I
it
mean,
twice. Okay.
yeah,
All right, good. Give me something to be
yeah, I
excited
mean,
about.
it's just one of those movies that's again, it did. I think it did like terrible at the box office. It really
That's
didn't get
crazy.
a lot of like advertisements or anything. You didn't hear that much about it. Kind of came and went really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it works really well. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept overall, but I don't know. I thought it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm 20 minutes in, but I was like, man, I don't want to be sitting here just because it's 2 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm nodding off because I'm tired. Like I legitimately want to
Right.
watch this movie while I'm fully focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it starts off really good. Starts off good.
It
So
does start off pretty good. Yeah, it
Stay
kicks in,
tuned.
and yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I hope you like it. All right, you got anything else
Man, no.
going on?
That's it. Again, I think I talked about this last month on the podcast. Man, if you guys have if you're listening, you have any good recommendations for horror movies that we have not talked about, by all means, comment, message me. I love it when I get text messages or emails or whatever from people that listen to the podcast. They're like, hey, I was thinking about this movie. You haven't talked about it. Check it out. I love that. So I
Well,
love recommendations.
Well, Obsession, that was coming out in a few months, maybe. Scary movie remake or whatever. I know it's not horror, but it's
I
horror
want to see that
adjacent.
though. Yeah, I still want to see
Coming
it.
out. Evil Dead, the new Evil Dead movie, that's coming out this summer. So there's that.
Yeah, and the new Evil Deads haven't disappointed me. So that's
they haven't.
hopefully they'll keep
me
that
either.
going. Keep it going.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, if I would say it'd be almost hard to make a bad Evil Dead movie, but I'm sure it can happen. So let's hope
sure.
it doesn't.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. Until next time. So next month, I guess we should stay hardcore. Hardcore. All right.
All right.
Until next time.
Later.
Peace.
Wow. That's hardcore.
Nothing harder.
Hardcore Horror with Mike and Brigitte is a part of the Tennessee Horror Podcast Network.